Lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at Lunch. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hanagriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Rufino's on Highland Road, welcome to the Friday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hanagriff along with Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro, Taylor Sharp pinch hitting for Jordan Kinchins back in the studio. Pinch hitting, see what I did there? Opening day of baseball season. So glad everybody is with us. Here it's also the Mardi Gras weekend. Lots of parades, lots of stuff going on. College baseball opening weekend. A lot of college basketball this weekend. No short. Yeah, the Olympics. Jimmy came in here hollering about the quad god today.
It's a badass boy.
Yeah,
that's the baddest son of a guns ever put on skates, man. I'm telling you, figure skating. I mean, you know, them hockey guys, they're pretty rough. I mean, fighting on skates.
So
you got to love that.
Watching the Olympics.
No, this son of a gun, man. He's so good, man.
I've never seen you so excited about a Winter Olympics event, man.
Well, why do we like sports, Charlie? You know what I mean? Kind of competition?
Yeah, the competition.
Okay. You know, we're more team-oriented. Right. But competition.
And sports we grew up with, not figure skating ain't one of them.
Yeah, that's part of it. But we want to see things we can't do ourselves.
This qualifies.
I mean, there's a lot of guys hanging out the rec league that they can whoop up on the LSU women's basketball players.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, just the way it is. Mm-hmm. All right. And maybe some of them can. But they ain't nobody in the world could do what that guy doing. I know that. When he flips around 4 times, lands, and flips around again, and he's got, you know what he's got too, Charlie? He got some swag. He got some Flavor Flav. He's got some. He gives like a little mini fist pump in the middle of his routine. This is he's shadow boxing. Yes, Dorothy Hamill shadow boxed when she came off for Boitano. No, this guy he looks like a skateboarder more than a figure skater. He's freaking off the charts,
figure
man.
Skating, a little bit about showmanship. I mean, isn't that part of the presentation?
Question. I don't know. I just kind of but a little bit of this kind of mini fist pumps in the middle of your routines. No, I don't think that's part of it.
No, if you can do something different, if you can do something unique.
Oh, he's doing well. His degree of difficulty is obviously way for an extremely casual. No, I've never been. I'm not even a non-fan of figure skating. This guy, I think he's awesome, man. I think it comes in an era where, man, he's busting his ass, and he's not load managing.
No,
he's taking chances where it's unnecessary. He's got a little Tom Osborne in him, going for 2 instead of kicking the extra point and taking the national championship. Okay?
Yeah.
You know? All why? He wants to put on a show.
Put on a show, baby. Put on a show.
Put on a show.
Sell a ticket somewhere.
Bad dude, man.
Yeah, I'll take it. I got to watch him now because I hadn't watched him to the point that I think he's got.
Man, ain't nothing like seeing you on the throne. It's King of Sucrose, Crew of Sucrose.
Well, that's a whole different kettle of fish. A few hours away from the start of LSU baseball season, 2 o'clock this afternoon against Milwaukee. Cason Evans will get the ball. And we'll see here probably somewhere around the middle of the show, mid to late part of the show. We'll get a lineup for you. We'll send that out there. We got a pretty good idea what they're going to do. But
I just been up all night wondering if they can handle this competition this weekend.
Yeah, that's not really what we're talking about. The other team, it was the conference pitcher of the year for Milwaukee last year. That's not really what this is about. The 3 weeks, the 4 weeks leading up into Southeastern Conference play is really about seeing what you have, seeing what guys you can count on, seeing the guys that whenever you ask me what's the key to the season, it was, well, the guys that are stepping into roles that they haven't been in before. Kason Evans was an excellent pitcher for LSU a year ago, but mostly in relief.
Yeah.
It's different when you go to the Friday night deal. William Schmidt, who we have extremely high hopes for, is stepping into a more prominent role as a weekend starter here to open this season. LSU's corner infielders are coming from other programs at Oregon State and Grand Canyon. They had really strong statistics there. Does that translate here? Cade Arambidi behind the plate, who was really, I thought, showed a tremendous amount of potential in the times he was out there last year. Okay, that's another one. And any number of pitchers that are on this staff that are being asked to do something. Cooper Moore had a great year at Kansas last year. Is he going to be able to repeat that? We asked these questions about guys like Anthony Ianson last year. He's terrific at San Diego. Can you do it in the Southeastern Conference? Well, turned out he could. Daniel Dickinson, who came in last year. You did this at Utah Valley. Are you able to do this at LSU? Turned out that he could. So those are the questions that you ask those guys that are stepping up. They don't have to count on very many freshmen, but there's some freshmen in there that do figure in to get some playing time this year. So we get to all of that. And the one thing, and I promise I'm gonna completely stop talking about this after I say it the one time. But the one thing that LSU did last year that I think was underrated was, and you got to give the training staff, the support staff, and the players themselves a ton of credit, and then you had to get a little bit lucky. LSU was remarkably healthy last year. Let me give you a couple of stats, and then I promise I'm not going to bring this up again. Last year, LSU's top 9 position players played 585 out of a potential 612 games. That's 96%. Of the 27 games that they missed, really none of them were for injury. The catcher, Luis Hernandez, got about a day off a week, and that was to rest him and to get Arambidi some at-bats. The rest were mostly pitching matchup, coaching decisions, and most of those were pre-conference. So every hitter you wanted last year, if you're Jay Johnson, was available to you in pretty much every game. The pitching staff lost Gavin Guidry really before the season even started. They had a couple of weeks into the season, they thought they might get him back, and then they realized before conference play even started that they weren't going to have him. So you can say, well, they lost him, but that was it. The top 12 pitchers that pitched last year never missed a start, never missed an outing. There was never – Anderson didn't miss a start. Ianson didn't miss a start. Shores didn't miss a start before he went to the bullpen. Evans and Cowan never missed a weekend. You had every pitcher, save Guidry, available to you every weekend. You do that again or anything close to that again, and you're going to be just fine. And that, again, that goes to preparation. It goes to what kind of shape you're in. It goes to how you're taking care of yourself, before and after games, the stretching routines, the workouts, all of that stuff. And you got to get a little bit lucky.
Every championship usually has a little luck.
Yeah.
I don't care what sport. Every usually.
Texas was rolling right along until their ace went down in the middle of April. And, that changed their whole season.
Well, Arkansas, their best player has a brain fart,
That
guy gets
one.
crossed up
Yeah.
on a line drive, plays at him. But that's the great thing about the stage, in Omaha is that, these players usually it's less from the SEC programs like that are used to playing in big time, a little bigger stages. Mm-hmm. And certainly those regional and super regional stages are pretty damn, pretty big. But they all know the magnitude of Omaha, and it raises some players' performance, and it's just a great thing about it. At March Madness, whatever. Charlie, I think there's a couple things. First, as far as the LSU perspective, that is, what can you tell in these, because this is a rent-a-win non-conference schedule, okay? What can you tell in the rent-a-wins in baseball that you can't tell in the rent-a-wins in football? Because you can go to practice and see them and perform and things like that, but until they get in game action, I think you can simulate games a lot more in baseball.
Absolutely.
And you fall, and you
Yes.
inter squad and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think we got a little better idea, like Schmitty taking the next step, being settled in, and which is I'm totally confused on the information you gave me. He was offered Mississippi State after one pitch. He was going to be a first-round pick because of his spin rate and all these early. Then he lost his spin rate. Has he got it? Now he's got it again.
He lost his command as much as.
Well, now,
anything
okay,
else.
no. What you told me his spin rate is up again. Well, I mean, how do you lose your spin rate as you get older? So that confuses me. Whatever, but I think it's more him settling in.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a freshman in college. There's other things to do besides just but. So what can you tell in baseball that you can't in football?
Okay. I think for the pitchers, especially a guy like Schmidt, and I would put Maverick Rizzi in there as well, they walked a lot of guys last year. And Cooper Williams. Can you throw strikes?
There you go. You can put a dummy up there, and we can
60 feet 6 inches, no matter who's standing at the plate. So your command of the strike zone. I think you can tell a lot defensively. A ground ball to third is a ground ball to third. It doesn't matter who's swinging the bat.
100%.
So I think you can do that. I think for some of these kids, if you're coming from Grand Canyon like Zach York is, at first base, this is. And I shouldn't really speak out of school because I didn't see Grand Canyon play last year, but I'm just guessing that when there's 8,000 people in the stands, that he didn't play in front of any crowds like that. That pressure barrier, some kids handle it great. Some kids, it takes them some time to get used to it. The stage, I think. And you're going to deal with that again when you get to Southeastern Conference.
Tell me the stage is different in football?
I would tell you that the stage, if you're a great high school football player, especially if you're a great transfer football player, Sam Levitt's played in front of big crowds before. Okay.
Yeah, but that's different. The kid from Kansas should be less of a concern coming from the Big 12.
He is.
He's facing.
Yeah, he is. But the kid coming from Grand Canyon.
The kid coming from San Diego's got a little bit better. Grand Canyon's a good one. Grand Canyon this year, they're going to Mountain West Conference.
Yeah.
But that's their first year.
Dickinson from Utah Valley last year.
Absolutely.
So the stage.
A pitcher from Air Force, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
That guy
was way better
really
here.
Good.
He embraced.
And I'm glad you brought him up because we're going to make a lot of assumptions.
He was going to play some catcher, remember?
He was going to hit, yeah.
Yes,
he was going to DH.
Yes.
The first thing I ever heard about Paul Skeens when he committed to LSU was, I said, well, he hit and he pitched. What's he going to do? And they said, well, he may be your DH closer. Now, think about how ridiculous that sounds now. He may DH, and he may be your closer.
He's got 17 pitches.
Right.
It's like, Paul, like you might want to let's just perfect the 7 you have or something.
And all he ended up doing was having the greatest year in the history of the program, okay? So you gotta adapt. Things
right.
will change during the course of the season.
I think you're missing out on the biggest thing, and I think is the sport, the legitimacy of the sport. And we think that they call it NIL, but paying players now, it is retained higher level players in baseball.
That's absolutely
there's
true.
no doubt.
Yes.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Was this the first year of no 11.7?
Yeah.
Well, that's a big deal, Charlie. We've been screaming about that for 30-something years. How dumb that was.
Right.
The 36, is it? 34, 36? How many scholarships?
35. 20. I think they're taking 27 of the allotted is what they're doing in the Southeastern Conference. I got to check that, but I think they're taking.
I heard Kyle Peterson say 35 today.
You can take 35. I think the SEC agreed to take 27. I'll check on that.
What? Wait, what? What is that?
I think that's just where they decided to stop. Why? I don't know. Probably money, if I had to guess.
Okay, but the one conference where it
How many people you hear screaming about it? We don't have, the players are not getting enough. They're getting
way more.
Yes.
But if other schools are getting more from other conferences,
I don't know that anybody's running up to 35 scholarships. You can, but you don't have to. It's just like the coach. You can have another coach too, but not everybody does. It depends on your.
The extra 7 or 8 scholarships are justified in this conference. This conference produces 95% of the few, maybe single-digit programs that actually produce a profit in the sport.
Yeah.
They can just. Why are we limiting ourselves?
Do you know how long they screamed and hollered about having one more assistant coach because of the cost? I understand you're being a little bit incredulous toward that, but I'm telling you that's why.
Surprises me.
Yeah.
That surprises me in this league.
I don't think that anybody in the league is going to 30. I could be wrong. They don't publicize that stuff. I'll go dig a little bit, but I think they mostly stopped at 27. But you make up for it.
But this is a big deal to go from 11.7 to 27 to 35. Okay,
Yeah.
It's massive. It's massive. That is only going to. That's only. I mean, no. I could take, 12th round money, 8th round money, 6th round money, and go live in the Howard Johnsons and take bus trips to Amarillo, to Oklahoma City, or whatever. Or I can, I got a third of a scholarship. No, I got a full scholarship. I'm getting some money, and these facilities, this nutrition.
Your training facilities are leaps and bounds better. Remember the argument used to be, you'll get better coaching if you go straight from high school into the minor leagues, and you won't have to deal. College baseball now. Oh my goodness, it's not even comparable. Not even comparable.
All right, we're over here at Ruffino's, man. You kick it off your Mardi Gras week, and it started off over here. We're open for lunch, so got great chef-inspired specials again over here at Ruffino's.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go out to San Diego, Las Vegas, Boston. Santa Clara.
I don't think he stuck around Santa Clara.
He didn't stick around?
I wouldn't have.
No. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm actually in Gila Bend, Arizona at the moment, heading back to San Diego.
Well, the weather's great in Arizona this time of the year, huh?
Yeah, the last 2 days was absolutely perfect. About 74, a little overcast, but enough sun to get a little bit of a tan. So I enjoyed it.
So in my stays, in mid-July to early August, and I meet so many people from Scottsdale. They, instead of flying 4 hours to get out the heat to go to Del Mar, they drive 4 hours from the Scottsdale area. So it's a lot of people in that area getting on a getting lighter tax load in the state of Arizona, huh, Chris?
Yeah, well, same as in Nevada. The overwhelming taxes in California have driven a lot of people east. So we'll keep the politics out of it, Jimmy. Let's talk some sports.
That's your neck of the woods. I'm sorry. All right, to your team.
Hey, they didn't call
it.
Hey, wait. Where I grew up, they didn't call it Taxachusetts for no reason.
Oh, okay. You have to learn me, as they say on the streets. But anyway, hey, but your thoughts about the Super Bowl? You're emotionally attached, but the Patriots just couldn't compete. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I would totally agree. Texting back and forth with some guys, Patriot fans throughout the game. I was just saying just how boring of a game it was, how embarrassing the performance was. Just overall non-competitive, like you said. They punted 9 straight times to kick off the game, barely even getting any first downs on those drives as it was. 50-something yards passing at halftime. Just unprepared, like almost. I've heard a few people describe it as, hey, Vrabel was just hoping that Donald would make a mistake, which he almost did. The first pass of the game was almost pick six. He had a couple attempts where it was questionable, almost picked off. There were also a few plays, and I'll give Donald all the credit in the world, where they were so close to having a huge sack on him, and he just somehow eluded the pressure and just got, strip sack possibilities, big sacks on 3rd and long, and it just never happened. The Patriots weren't opportunistic enough, and I felt that Vrabel kind of didn't kick the game plan into gear until it was too late. They obviously were able to move the ball in the fourth quarter. Maybe it was just vanilla defense by Seattle, but the Patriots started taking shots down the field, and but you can't take too many shots down the field when you can't block. And obviously we saw what happened to Will Campbell. And Walker wasn't much better right next to him. Wilson wasn't much better right next to him. So, they're going to have to shore up that offensive line because if Drake May takes that many hits, next year and the year after that, he's not going to be standing up.
There's no doubt it is a residual effect, and so when they said, "Well, man, even when a quarterback has time, he misses guys." Well, they're bailing out even when the pressure isn't there if they get hit as much as he has. And look, we saw this coming, Chris. Some of this, I mean, they had a rough time protecting May. Every playoff game. So this can't be a total shock that a respected defense gave them problems as well. But some of the throws he made, even though he was getting hit when he did the few times he did, like where was he going with some of this stuff? Or is this a build-up, like I said, from the previous games that where it's deteriorated to this level? Because I don't care because to your defense, as far as the schedule, the record of the schedule and stuff like that, he's still making throws. That throw in Buffalo on that Sunday night, man, to the right side, to the right pylon, that either gave him the lead or got him within one score, is big time, man. He's made some big time throws over the course of the season.
Well, that's the big question mark right now. I mean, what happened to Drake May? How injured is he? You hear that he's not on the injury report, but then he's getting the injection before the game. But what makes no sense to me is he was throwing really well in the fourth quarter. So did the injection not start working for 4 quarters? That's just it wasn't happy feet. He looked nervous. He's been a notorious slow starter his entire career with the Patriots. Even this year, first quarters has not been his thing. But then he usually kicks into gear second, third quarter. I mean, this guy was 73% accuracy, and what we saw in this playoffs was,
Right.
nowhere near that. And you can blame the weather the last couple games, but this game, it was perfect conditions, no wind, no weather, not cold, and he was just, airmailing passes, not even close, a couple times just throwing it up for grabs. Just wasn't what we're used to from Drake May. And, maybe it is you're just getting hit so many times that you just don't want to stand in there anymore. He took a beating again. He took some big hits again. I mean, the whole playoffs he took some big hits. So hopefully they can shore up the line next year, and hopefully he can get better protection. Because getting sacked 50 times in the regular season and 22 times, I believe, in the postseason, that is a recipe for disaster.
All right, what's the story in the Boston circuits as far as Will Campbell? What are they thinking there?
Well, according to Vrabel, they're keeping him at tackle. We discussed, me and you, over this past week about his form, his technique. I read a lot of articles. I've seen a lot of tweets. I've seen a lot of videos. He's just not taking the right approach. His base is just either on roller skates or he's still injured. But he said he was as healthy as he felt since before the injury. But then after the game, he said he's injured. So I'm not sure if these. The coaches are telling him to say one thing, and then, emotion comes out afterwards, and they're saying something else. But hopefully he can get a better technique. He's only a rookie. Come back strong the second year and see if they can protect him a little bit better.
Charlie, I think we're on the same page. That's the biggest thing. That's going to keep. He's a rookie.
Yeah,
he's a rookie, and we've seen it's a tough spot. We've seen some rookies handle it. But maybe he's not an elite left tackle. Maybe he's got to slide to. I think whether he slides, whether he goes, where he goes, whatever happens, I don't think he's. I would be shocked if Campbell doesn't have a lengthy NFL career still.
Yeah, and I've said this a couple of times this week, so you've heard me say this already. It's the left tackle stuff where you're sliding, the short arms and all that stuff is one thing. The biggest thing that leads me to believe he was hurt in this game is the way he was bull rushed by much smaller players. And that's not something that we saw him struggle with some elite pass rushers, the quickness, the length on the outside at LSU. We saw him have some penalty problems because of that. I never saw him get bull rushed very much. And he got bull rushed a couple of times in this game. That's what leads me to believe that there was something a little bit up with the knee. Whether he can correct the rest of that stuff, we'll see. But that was what led me to believe in this game.
Now, Chris, you in Arizona, so you took some of Charlie's picks, huh? For some college baseball.
Yeah. What I did was just a couple of quick futures, and I have the Charlotte Hornets at like 100-1 for the division. Very small bet, but I still think the Charlotte Hornets at 4-1 to win that division is a really good leg if you're going to play some future parlays.
Yeah.
And I like to throw in some ones where we can win. You can win multiple times. So what I did is I put a bunch of teams I'd like to go to the Final Four with Charlotte Hornets to win that division, and I did use two of Charlie's plays. I put LSU and Texas both to make the College World Series. I know you guys have been talking up LSU to begin the show today, and I like the fact that Texas is in a good spot too with that coach. And I think they'll both be in Omaha this year. So you can find both of those at plus money, and that's what's great about these future parlays. You putting in a couple plus money prices in there, they really boost it up pretty well.
That's what you like to do. Hey, I heard Derek Stevens in an interview talk about how the California Calci impact is just kept some people at home. It's given them an outlet in the state of California. They're having parties at home, and some of his bigger players to make it. We know about the Nevada handle was really down this year, but you're in the state of California. Your thoughts?
I used Calci for the first time this Super Bowl. It was a parlay bet. It was like I had a second half of a college basketball game, and I'm like, hey, I'm just going to throw it with Seattle money line on Calci to see how this whole Calci thing works. One thing I'll tell you, it's not like DraftKings where you win and you get the money. And Calci did not grade my bet until Wednesday night after Seattle won the Super Bowl on Sunday, and I did not receive the money until 2 days after that. So it's not like a seamless transaction like DraftKings. The menu is obviously limited, but if you're a millionaire type of guy who's not gambling every day, and you're just, you're looking to put that big, $500,000 bet that Derek Stevens might be missing out on, if you can do it at Calci, I say why not do it? You don't have to drive, you don't have to fly, you can do it right there. DraftKings also, which is not allowed in California, which is why I'm in Arizona at the moment, they have opened up their own prediction market under the same, it's your same password and everything that you use for your DraftKings account, but it's allowed in California. I don't know how that works. I don't understand the logistics of it all. I know the big issue that Derek Stevens is having is that these sports books in all these states and all these different
fees and licenses, yes.
The fees they have to pay to kick back to the states plus the taxes. Apparently the prediction markets don't have anywhere near the taxes or the fees. So I think something's going to have to come. I mean, it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. I mean, I feel bad. You don't want to feel bad for the sportsbook operators, but at some point, with all the taxes and the regulations, you're gonna have to straighten something out. It's kind of like, what are we doing here? Why would you be able to run a prediction market without paying taxes or paying the fees to the states?
Kind of like NBA players. Nobody's forcing you to play professional basketball. You can seek another profession. They could shut down the windows at the sports books. And
I always say these NBA guys would be playing. They'd be playing for $500,000 if that was the market. A guy making $75 million a year to play basketball, I find.
When Paul George was suspended for 25 games, he said how much money he was losing. I'm like, what are you? I mean, it's $11 million or something. I mean, my goodness. College basketball, some of these lines are trickling out right now. Iowa State 6.5 at home tomorrow against Kansas. Tennessee is 11.5 at home against LSU. Charlie, this metric's still like LSU. That line will move up. I can tell you that if you want to bet on that one right now. Florida 10.5 at home against Kentucky. I think Florida going to wax them. Vandy 6.5 against A&M. Or tonight's game, Michigan State. They're playing tonight. Chris, anything you looked at for college basketball?
Well, we've been on a little bit of a roll this week. If I'm not selling picks or doing tout services or anything like that, but I do like to engage with people on Twitter, on X. So this week we're 6-2 in the college basketball. We had North Texas last night. Anyone wants to follow me, it's at Real Gage. That's Gadge. I do like Michigan State tonight. I feel like Wisconsin's been on a whirlwind. They got that lucky break versus Indiana, and then the big, huge comeback against Illinois. I think Michigan State with Jeremy Fears is going to be ready to roll tonight. I'd probably play it on the money line minus 140. You don't want to get trapped in one of those close games where you win by 1 or 2. And you don't get the victory. But tomorrow I'm looking at 5 games. I'm just going to run them down real quick.
Okay.
I like BC. Ken Palm's got this at +4 right now. Cal's got an early start and an empty gym in Boston. No one goes to these Boston College games. BC's not a great team, but off a double overtime loss to Syracuse, Cal's going to be a little leg weary, I think. Take BC +4. I like under in Duke Clemson, two good defensive teams. I feel like Clemson will try to slow it down and try to keep them in that game versus Duke. I think Ken Palm has 133. A little bit of a sandwich start for Michigan.
That's out, Chris. That's 133.5 at FanDuel. That's out right now.
Okay.
So,
okay. A little sandwich spot for Michigan off that lucky road comeback versus Northwestern. They have Purdue and Duke on tap. I think Mick Cronin will get the defense going to stay within the number. I think we're at plus 16. Yeah, I think I think UCLA will put up enough defense. Maybe go up against his old boy Mara there to keep it close. I like St. John's in a huge revenge game. St. John's has won 10 in a row since their last loss at home versus Providence. You got Patino going back to PC. Big revenge game. Lay the number with St. John's. And you mentioned it, Iowa State, Kansas, another situation spot, and they already know it's baked in. The number is kind of high, 6.5. I was hoping for 3.5 or 4. Maybe you play a St. John's and Iowa State money line parlay. You figure Kansas off the big win against Arizona. Iowa State was looking ahead against TCU the other night, and they ended up losing that game. So I think Iowa State comes back with a big game, and I really like the St. John's team right now. They're playing great. Patino's got them running on all cylinders.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have to take it easy on his kid after a 5 a.m. curfew. So, yeah, he had Monday night against Xavier. Chris, be careful, man. Safe travels back from Arizona to PB, man. Good stuff. We'll talk to you next week.
Hey, Chris,
yes.
One thing. Sprinkle some Mississippi State before you finish with your college baseball futures. Sprinkle a little Mississippi State.
I think, yeah.
Little Mississippi State.
All right. Well, we still got 2 hours before the border, so yeah, we'll do that. Thanks a lot, guys.
There you go. All right.
Good follow, Chris, on Twitter at Real Gauge. Yes, indeed.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net, Double Handycast podcast up at YouTube right now. LSU Baseball Preview is brought to you by Supreme Rice, now celebrating their 90th anniversary in business here in 2026, supporting our Louisiana farmers down in Southwest Louisiana. Go to SupremeRice.com.
Yes, indeed. Let's bring in Troy Macker. Troy, how you doing, buddy, this Friday? You feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. We ran into a bit of an issue this week. A 2-year-old daughter broke her arm, so had to spend a whole day trying to get her to the world's smallest cast. Yeah, so we're...
Man, the Macker crib is getting bruised up,
yeah,
huh?
we are.
I mean, how old are your kids now, Troy?
4.5 and just turned 2. So the 2-year-old.
Yeah. You still got a little grind. Let's get them both into grammar school, and then we could kind of have a little bit of a routine, huh?
Yeah.
A little bit. So, oh man, God bless y'all. So, anyways, trying to chase numbers and kids at the same time. It'd be tough, Charlie.
Just the kids by themselves.
Oh, EJ would go with the crayons and start drawing on the TVs. I said to tell his mama, you better get this boy out of here.
Better than the walls.
Well, he did my drapes, too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
They're not expensive at all.
No. Those are cheap. So, anyway, Troy, anything that we recovered or, now we had time for the Super Bowl and everything like that, just kind of some finishing touches on the NFL season.
Yeah, this was one of the better seasons for the sports book in terms of futures. Certainly, we did take a big loss on Bears futures in terms of win totals and playoff advancement. But it comes down to is the two teams that played in the Super Bowl. We're not heavily backed teams. We're long odds at the beginning of the year. There was certainly a little bit more action during the year on the Patriots. There was almost no, I wouldn't say no action, but there was minimal action on in-season Seahawks futures. It really until the late rounds in the playoffs, and at that point, the multiplier is very low. So, usually, even if years where the Chiefs are, short odds throughout the entire season, there's still such a large volume that the multiplier can hurt us. But because we took a few bets here or there on long odds Seahawks, but not enough to really impact. So that was one noteworthy thing because usually, even with Indiana, in college football, they weren't heavily backed. Obviously, there's only 5 or 6 teams that get heavily backed until it gets down to it in the playoffs. But because you could catch them at such a long price for such a long time, and they're in a market of ours, we saw. I believe we paid out more winnings on Indiana winning the national championship than we did on the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl, which is a bit surprising.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. All right, so we sort of transition to the college basketball. You love some college hoops. Troy, one of my angles has always been bad teams that get hot and really good teams that kind of start to slide, and so you're getting value on those teams. One of them's right in your neck of the woods at College Park, Maryland. Buzz Williams, first-year coach, also. Is his team playing better? They've won back-to-back games outright as double-digit dogs.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, they've stunk. Their defense has been so poor. They're a pretty decent overs team, but their defense is non-existent. They have a good scorer in Diggy Coit, who's gone for 40 twice this year. But it's interesting. I mean, they got blown out. There was a point where 13 of their 14 losses were by at least 10 points, and 8 of them were by 20 or more. They had 4 30-point losses. But this is a unique case where the books really adjusted quickly. Even, usually it takes 3 or 4 games. We see that in baseball a lot, where it takes 3 or 4 games, especially on bad teams, to bump up that run line to 2.5. But, I believe what was the game they won against Iowa, they were only 8.5, 9-point dogs. And certainly Iowa struggled a little bit on the road. But Iowa's a good team, and Maryland has gotten blown out by good teams. So I was surprised it was not around 13 or 14. So there's been a decent adjustment there. There's a short line for when they played the other, mediocre run in the middle. Minnesota, I believe, was also around 8 or 9. But I think one of the things that the book had really taken notice of, and I did last week, is that, Maryland had been getting blown out in Big Ten play. They were playing all the good teams. They really hadn't played a team in and around their kind of skill level, even though they're not performing up to their skill level, and their skill level is not that great. Now they're playing a lot more like teams, and I think you're going to see them perform better because, they aren't playing Michigan State, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, teams like that. They're now playing more Minnesotas and Northwesterns, and Iowa certainly at the top of that tier, but, Rutgers will be there as well. So, I wouldn't be, if you're like, oh, now's the time to jump on a fading Maryland, I would actually say no, don't, and potentially start backing them because you're absolutely right. College basketball is a momentum sport. Whether it's in game, a 15-point lead is not safe at all. And right now this team is not good, but they're getting better. And that's usually what happens with a new coach whose program style is wildly different than what the university has run in the past.
Well, it's also the path of these two games, okay, on Sunday and this week at Minnesota and against Iowa. They led for most of the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't like some, they're down 8 and then they just fight. It was some kind of crazy comeback, flukish type of wins. These were they were just better teams in these two games. So, I mean, Minnesota is – the first-year coach out of Colorado State, I think he's going to be pretty good. They're limited. I don't know how much of a player budget they have / NIL, but I was going to the tournament. That's for sure. So they pulled off some upsets, and I mean it was just kind of gate to wire. I mean they led the whole time against Maryland. I mean against Iowa. So I don't know. I think Buzz Williams. I know one thing. I mean, I don't know if Buzz Williams is going to be one of these veteran coaches that becomes extinct in the new era of roster building. But I know Buzz can coach, huh, Charlie? Yeah. And I mean, this team is improving. And it's just one of my angles there. The other one is closer to home here for us. I'm interested in your thoughts on from afar, but Texas A&M. It was sort of the kind of caught the league by surprise, and then they have kind of hit a wall as of late, losing 3 in a row. Losing a close game in Tuscaloosa, no big deal. Getting routed by Florida, non-competitive, and then losing at home to Missouri. And we're starting to wonder about A&M.
Yeah, similar to their football team. Now, granted, I think their football team is better than their basketball team, but didn't have a super strong schedule. Wasn't scoring a lot of points in football, and this team, like you said, it kind of caught some teams by surprise. Now, certainly they've won some road games. Road game at Auburn, granted Auburn's down. At Texas is down a little bit. At Georgia, Georgia is come back to orbit. I think this team's a tournament team. This is one of the better teams that's not even sniffed the rankings. I don't think Texas A&M has been ranked at all this year, maybe for 1 week. Maybe after they rattled off the Auburn and Oklahoma wins before they lost to Tennessee, I think it was. But yeah, and also the SEC is just such a tough league. Georgia is a tough out. South Carolina is a tough out, and those are teams in the middle, bottom of the pack. Missouri, a team that has kind of been all over the map this year, tough out. They're a very untrustworthy team, especially as they have just a murderer's row of opponents they have to play. But really interesting to see where they stand come Selection Sunday, because we know what their peaks are, but we also have seen some valleys. But I just don't know if they'll be able to even it out. But, I do like their head coach. They run a very fun, unique style that will make them identifiable going forward. This is a program that has had success, certainly under Buzz Williams, Mark Turgeon, and things of the like. And who knows? I just mentioned Buzz Williams and Mark Turgeon. Buzz Williams, head coach at Maryland, and Mark Turgeon, former coach at Maryland. I wonder if Bucky McMillan is going to step right up and take the job after Buzz, spends 4 years there and then heads for a greener pasture.
Maybe so. Your Hoyas are catching 16.5 tomorrow against UConn. Michigan State tonight on the road to take on, oh, gosh, I'm drawing a blank.
Wisconsin.
Oh, Charlie. Wisconsin, who has the two biggest road wins. I mean, I don't think Michigan has another road loss, home loss besides Wisconsin. I don't think Illinois has another. No, they lost to somebody beat them in Champaign. Who was it earlier? So they had another loss at home. And then they got hosed last Saturday in Bloomington at Alumni Hall. Yep. Anything on Michigan State, Wisconsin tonight?
Tricky, real tricky. This is a tough time for Michigan State. A lot of noise around Jeremy Pierce. Haven't been shooting the ball very well. We're getting towards that Izzo time of year. But for me, it's Wisconsin. I don't know how to grade this team because of how good they are, but how inconsistent they are. They're just a very untrustworthy team for me. Certainly they can score points, and this is an interesting game because they are an overs team, which we don't really typically associate with Wisconsin, and Michigan State is historically an unders team. So I'm fascinated by this game. Michigan State, I believe, is like 1.5-point favorites on the road. It's really tricky for me just because I'm staying away from Michigan State because they seem to be very volatile. The line for me this weekend that is very interesting is the Florida-Kentucky game. Now, Kentucky has been all over the map. They've rallied back. They've struggled a little bit. They've had two come from behind wins of 18 points. They're playing at Florida. Florida has regained form. I don't know if they're one of the three best national championship contenders this year, but they're a very good team. Follow Troy on Florida.
Follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Mecker. Sorry, Troy, we're out of town. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you Monday at Troy Mecker. That's
on the lead at Pebble Beach at 10 under. He is teeing off right now. Group of 4 golfers, one shot back at 9 under, includes Sam Burns, who shot a blistering 63 yesterday, and Max did manage to crush Scotty Scheffler yesterday, where he's 72, which would ordinarily be pretty good. Not so much. He is 10 shots off the lead. Hour number 2 with Bruce Marshall coming your way here from Ruffino. Stop by and see us for lunch here on Highland Road, live at Ruffino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. He's out there somewhere in the world. Maybe even your local sports book.
Can anybody help us?
Let's bring in Bruce Marshall.
Brucey, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, Winter Olympics are going on. I'm great.
Yeah.
By the way, do you think the guys who invented the drone intended for it to be used to cover luge at the Olympics? for all of the other things drones can do, I wonder how far down the list covering luge would have been for those guys.
They kind of had all those camera shots before too, huh? I mean, they kind of had them coming in out of turns.
I don't know about the luge, but the one shot that the drones got that I had never seen before, this is near the Olympics, was at Augusta. The overhead view at Augusta that the drones got when they finally let them in there, I was like, oh, that's what it looks like, because I've never been. Well, that's what it looks like, because there's a lot of Augusta that you never see on TV. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Max, you probably chime in as well, but, Bruce, I go to, the, Del Mar area and seeing the drone shots, the coastal shots, at the farmers, at Torrey Pines is really cool. And then I've been to Monterey and Carmel a couple of times and see those. I don't know, man. That's some pretty cool aerial shots. And look, I mean, you've been to Milan in that area, I'm sure. I mean, who's more well-traveled than you? Well, I mean, maybe Charlie Henry. But anyway.
Charlie Hanagriff.
But I mean, I don't know, man. They give you different perspective looks. It makes me want to pack up and go to Milan a little bit. I ain't going to lie to you.
It's my favorite city. My granddaughter was born there, so I mean, they live not too far away. But the luge thing. I mean, when you're flying behind the guys around the first couple turns, and the drone is right behind them. I mean, that is really neat. And they on those coming down the slopes, they do it with like those snowboarders and things coming down. I mean, it's really good. Milan is those pictures of it. Most of the stuff though is up in the Alps there. The hockey's in Milan, and I guess the skating's there. But those pictures, they'll be playing Serie A in the San Siro again this weekend. They're back to soccer there. But all those pictures of the Duomo and the Rinascente, my son-in-law works right across from the Duomo there in Milan. It's a beautiful city. Very walkable, good subway, good place to visit.
Matt, I mean, Brucey, with these places, these landmarks you're talking about, they're flying over our heads. Be a little bit more descriptive of these landmarks that you're talking about.
Well, the Duomo is the big cathedral there, and that is the big one that they show in Duomo Square. Yes. And when they show a picture that the indoor shopping mall, really ornate. That's right next to it. It's called the Rinascente, and it's really nice. And you should be there at Christmas time. It's really good. By the way, one other thing about luge. I think in the name of human decency, they should eliminate the two-man luge, and I'll just leave it at that. Just eliminate it.
Well, I thought we got screwed by Latvia yesterday in the team luge. So but anyway,
poor officiating, right? Or poor judge.
The Russian judge,
the East German judge. Yeah.
Oh man! So anything on the hockey or anything? I mean,
there's going to be. There's going to be Canada's playing Switzerland coming up in about an hour and a half. The Czechs are now taking care of France. Great hockey tournament. I mentioned yesterday to you. I mean, the Canada in the NHL at Olympics era, and I don't think skipped the last couple. This Canada team looks as loaded as any that I have seen. And my question for John Cooper, the coach, coming in was, are you sure you want to stick with Jordan Binnington in goal? Now, they did win the Four Nations with him last year, but he has had a wretched season, as the Blues have had, too. He's really struggled with St. Louis this year, but he's sticking with him, and he was rewarded with the shutout in the opener yesterday. Or was it yesterday? Yeah, so, I mean, that so far so good for Binnington in goal, and Canada looks really good. U.S. will probably end up playing Canada for the gold. I don't think they have quite as strong a team, although Hellebuck in goal, who also hasn't had a great year because Winnipeg has not had a great year, but I would rather have him than Binnington, but still I'm not sure the U.S. will be able to get over Canada. We'll see. We'll worry about that next week, but in the meantime, good hockey, and I guess U.S. in action again tomorrow, but Canada comes up in about an hour and a half.
My buddy Charlie here has he kind of gets on me for, taking the value, the line. I've got value. I got value every week last year on the Titans. So, he got me for hand. But Charlie has his hand on the stove for some. He's got a Kalshi account now, Bruce, and so he is. He cannot take his hand off the stove. He did cash a ticket against Bediako, but he got smoked again on Chambliss yesterday, and he's betting against Aguilar today in Knoxville. So, can you your thoughts on Charlie and taking the NCAA sides on these player eligibility cases?
Yeah, I thought Charlie would be more for the players. So there you go, but that's okay. I think
Charlie,
it's
defend
interesting,
yourself.
Yeah,
Well, first of all, he's lying because I'm following these cases, but I know who's going to win. Aguilar, by the way, okay. So here's the difference between and to me, today's case is so much more important than yesterday's. Yesterday's was an individual red shirt or not red shirt case. Today's case is about whether junior college years count or not. Okay?
Really? Okay, so. But
as far as precedent goes,
in my prism here, I see Tom Mars, who has an excellent record against the NCAA, in a home field advantage in an Oxford courthouse. Charlie, one thing I know about the law is they love to expound upon the gray. And so you could create any type of gray. And so now today they're in a Knoxville courtroom.
Correct.
So my money's on. I don't know. I just think, there's a home field value, huh? College basketball is pretty good, Bruce.
There were 3 judges that could have been assigned to this case. They're all Tennessee grads. Okay, so they got a Tennessee grad here. But here's why it's different.
Imagine that.
Yesterday was an individual redshirt case. Today's case is about whether junior college years will count against you or not.
I just disagree with that. I think it's all about where it is, man.
No. Not the case itself, the precedent that it sets. Okay, this is a precedent setter.
It's a precedent setter in Oxford.
No, it's a precedent setter because the Diego Pavia case is not settled yet. Aguilar pulled it. Bruce, correct me if I'm wrong here. Aguilar pulled himself out of the federal case that Diego Pavia filed in order to file in state court. I agree with you there. He's got a better chance in Knoxville of winning this thing? Yes, okay. But if this judge rules in his favor, then is the federal judge going to take that as precedent when the 25 players that are still part of the Pavia case, when that comes up in federal court?
Charlie, all of that is saying if they were in Kansas City instead of Oxford, in Knoxville, it might be different.
His case is in Knoxville, okay? The precedent that it sets could be for every junior college player that decides that they don't want those junior college years to count. That's what I'm saying.
In
Bruce?
Knoxville?
Well, does it affect the federal case?
You're overthinking this, man.
Emma?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Bruce?
I'm impressed, Charlie, because this sounds like an LSAT test question that you were posing here. But
Charlie zoomed through.
No, I think you're correct, and I think first of all, the thing state versus federal. Yeah, I mean when they get a state ruling, that becomes the precedent unless a federal ruling then overcomes that later on. So, but I think what Jimmy said is absolutely true. There is a home court edge. I don't think any state judge in Mississippi was going to rule against Ole Miss. The guy's got to live there. I mean, this is just the reality of the world. He was going to rule for Chambliss and Ole Miss, and I think probably in the Aguilar case, the same thing in Tennessee. I would be shocked if he doesn't get a favorable ruling in state court. But you're very true what you say.
Starts in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but you're very right what you say about how the Pavia case is a little bit different in that Pavia just got an injunction there. There wasn't a ruling last year, and so that allowed him temporarily to. I think my gut feel is the NC2A is going to lose every one of these things in federal court eventually. So Aguilar, that was a smart move by Aguilar because I think the odds are really great. He wins just like Chambliss won in state court. We'll see what happens with the federal case, but my overarching thing is the NC2A is on a big-time losing streak in the courts for a long time. The Bediako thing a little bit different, but eventually, even that precedent is going to be challenged. And within a couple of years, I think we got to wonder about the NC2A's ability to exist because I think they're just going to keep more often than not losing in court.
Charlie, LSU Ole Miss in September?
Yeah.
Okay. So LSU plays Clemson at home. Bruce, Ole Miss plays in Nashville neutral against Louisville, and then they'll play a rent-a-win, and then they'll play each other in Oxford. What would that line be with and without Trinidad Chambliss?
Oh, God. I don't know who Golding picked up behind. Now the Chambliss is there. It's different. But, I mean, I would have to think at least a touchdown or more. Probably different unless Golding got somebody. Unless Golding got somebody I haven't heard of in the portal.
Tonight, but he's already dropping his contacts from Ole Miss. He's whining already. I mean, he could barely see the field. He saw the field in a rent-a-win at Auburn, where they were stacked with quarterback play this past year.
Yeah, and so we will see how that goes. But I mean, listen, Chambliss now all of a sudden this guy, he and Arch are going to be 1-2 Heisman favorites probably next year. So that makes a huge difference for Ole Miss. And Brett Norsworthy's already asking me if I want to come to the Grove for that game, so I may be there. In fact, I'd like to see you guys next year, too, so we will see. But
yeah, you could see me on the way, partner. I ain't coming close to anywhere, and I don't advise anybody in a stitch of purple or gold to go to Oxford for that game.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'll see you guys in Baton Rouge later in the fall, but September 16th or whatever, maybe I will be in the Grove. We'll see.
I'm not one to run for a fight, but I'm not dumb either. I mean, that is just there's no way. No way. No possible way. Brucey, this is your neck of the woods. I mean, this is we got one Big Ten game, got a Pac-12 game, Pac-12, the Mountain West game later. I mean, got a lot of these mid-majors. Anything you like on the card tonight in college hoops?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting because that one Big Ten game is kind of good. Michigan State and Wisconsin, and Wisconsin has made a nice little rally here. And they got road wins now over Michigan and Illinois, and Michigan State just got one over Illinois the other night. So, what amazes me about Wisconsin is that this started last year. I mean, the old, the Dick Bennett, the Bo Ryan, the swing offense, and all that slow-down stuff, that is gone now. I mean, you talked about this last year, too. I mean, Greg Gard, this team's scoring well over 80 per game. And Nick Boyd, the transfer from San Diego State, has really started to hit the straps along with Blackwell in the backcourt. This is one of the best perimeter duos in the country. I wouldn't be surprised Wisconsin tonight, though over the total, they're also going over consistently. High 140s, I think that might be an over tonight. Now, there's a couple of other ones in the MAC tonight. And Miami, Ohio is a side that has gotten a lot of attention for good reason. They're the last remaining unbeaten. You look at the offensive stats nationally. I mean, they are almost pulling a trifecta here. They lead the nation in points per game. They lead the nation in field goal percentage, and they are sixth in three-point percentage. So you get the idea this team can really score. Give Travis Steele credit. He's got guys, he's got dagger throwers all over the court. Byers and Suter, these guys shoot threes with their eyes closed. But in their last 6 games, they have had 2 that went into overtime and 2 others that went with just a 2-point decision. Ohio U is not that bad tonight, and Jeff Bulls has won there before. You're getting 10.5, 11 or so. Ohio U is interesting. The other MAC game tonight is Akron, which is number 2 team in the MAC. They lost a really close game to Miami O. That's the only game they've lost. They're already talking about those 2 meeting in Cleveland next month with the winner to the dance. And Miami O, I mean, if you listen to Lenardi and some of those guys, he doesn't think they have a bid sewn up yet, so it all could still be on the line. But they host Frank Martin in UMass tonight. Yes, that's where Frank Martin is. And he hit the portal really hard in the offseason. They have their 5 losses since the calendar turned to January have been by a total of 11 points. And included in one of those was a game at Miami O that they darn near won. So now they're going to Akron tonight. You're getting about 13 or so. That is way too much. So I think both those dogs are interesting in the MAC tonight. There is one other one. I talked about offense a minute ago. Here's a chance maybe to watch St. Louis tonight. It's on ESPN2. They're playing at Loyola, which has really struggled this year.
Right.
And this price is way up there, but Loyola Drew Valentine was just caught short, and he didn't make effective use of the portal. His leading scorer, Justin Moore, the guard, has been held to single digits. In fact, 6 or fewer points in 4 of the last 5 games. That shows you what the problems are with Loyola. And St. Louis, we talked about Shirts a few weeks ago. This team is a joy to watch. I mentioned Miami O a second ago. This is like maybe an enhanced version of Miami, Ohio. They have similar stats. They're right up there at the top of the nation in scoring per game and field goal percentage and three-point shooting. Avila, the center with the glasses, very interesting player because he goes out and shoots from the perimeter. I think they have 6 guys scoring in double digits. Just the balance is so good. 19.5 doesn't look like enough points. I think they could easily blow out Loyola Chicago by 25 or more tonight. And you can watch that one on ESPN, too.
There's some 18.5s out there as well. So you like the 2 dogs in the MAC, Ohio and UMass, Bruce? Is that right?
Yeah, I think I give them both a shot here. A couple competent dogs, and that's good. Maybe one other total tonight in the Mountain West. UNLV Boise over. Boise is kind of back into the edge of the bubble. And if you look at one Ivy League game tonight, I know you love these. I'm going to give Fran McCaffrey and Penn a look tonight against Columbia at home. They have straightened out. Penn with a couple wins in a row. The Ivy only takes top 4 teams to their tournament. Yale and Harvard are going to be 1-2. These 2 are in a scrum for those last 2 spots. Penn gets this game at the Palestra tonight. I think they can avenge a loss, a close one up in Manhattan last month. So I will take Penn short price tonight at home.
Charlie, as far as our NCAA courthouse, little bit of a battle between us. You see how you see how Bruce danced around that. He was like Fred Astaire. I mean, how often have you been to Switzerland, Bruce? You've been to Switzerland quite often, huh?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he declared both of us right. Did you see that?
Well,
in the spirit of the courtroom. The gray area.
But here's what you did. You tried to make it like I was disagreeing with you that the home court. You get the pun, advantage was not significant. I never disputed that. I wanted to see how these things were going to turn out and still do. I think yesterday's ruling is a one-off, okay? Nobody else is getting tonsillitis and going to court over that. This Aguilar thing has the potential to set precedent for all junior college players from here moving on.
As long as these eligibility cases are in the home court advantage.
And again, the Pavia case is a federal case, so it's blanket. If they win that, it's everybody. Yeah, I agree with you. As long as you're playing ball, 3 Tennessee judges. Pick the one you like. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but if you're talking about a federal court, then that's everybody. That's the ball game. Junior college play won't count anymore.
Yes, so distinguish between the 2. Great job, Brucey. We appreciate it, man. We will talk to you next week. Thank you, buddy.
Have fun, boys. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store, now open in LaRose and LaProse. The Thibodeau Store. Get this right. LaRose and Lockport, thank you very much. If you're getting ready for the college baseball season, which starts here in about an hour and a half in Baton Rouge, you want your outdoor cooking equipment, get it at the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store. Your outdoor cooking at the ballpark and your outdoor cooking at home. Tons of crawfish pots, jambalaya pots, all of your cooking, your grills, your griddles, all of the accessories that go along with that are available at the Thibodeau Store and at the Pierre Part Store. Thank you very much. Take your trip down there right now, 900 St. Patrick Highway in.
About that time, Charlie's warming up, man. We're about to get that green egg going again. About to go get a fresh set of gadgets and new stuff that I'm looking for. So
900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, Highway 70 in Pierre Part, and thethibodeaustore.com. Get to all 4 properties.
Look at this guy. He got no shot, man. This guy.
You back on the figure skating?
It's all for second, man.
The finger painting.
Well, look, he fell down. Poor fella. They're so intimidated, man, by the quad god.
Do you know that guy's real name?
Ilya Milanic.
Ilya Milanic.
Malanin.
Okay.
No, not Milanic. Malanin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Didn't know. I'd seen it once, but wasn't paying a whole lot
right,
of attention to
Malanin,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Max is getting ready
To
for
Virginia.
Max is getting ready for
Parents
college baseball.
figure skated, Charlie. He's got pedigree.
Yeah, I got it.
It's got strong dosage.
Chris Paul retired from
Again?
No, he didn't retire before.
Oh, okay, if you say so.
He got cut.
Oh, okay.
He got sent home.
His career's over.
Yeah.
Great career, Hall of Famer, yeah.
And just decided there was nobody that picked him up, even as a as a bench guy, because apparently he didn't get along with everybody real well.
Never played in the finals, huh?
Played in the finals one time, never won it.
He played against Milwaukee.
Yeah, got it.
Boy, Playboy Marty, that's right. He went to the first 2 games, thought they had it won when they won the first 2. Lost the next 4.
That was the only time he made it to the final. Maybe the best chance that he had to win the whole thing was when Houston got to Game 7 against Golden State, and he was basically out with the hamstring. He doesn't play in Game 7 of that game. If they win that, they probably win in the finals also.
What game was that? Was that the series where they had like the 25-point lead that they blew?
Yeah, in one of the earlier games of that series, and then
which game number was that?
I don't remember what game he was down 25. I remember the game 7 was when he didn't play. The hamstring had kept him out, and they didn't win. That might have been Game 6 that they blew the big lead. 5 or 6.
I think a 2-game lead in the finals. You probably. I know this. Their odds after being up 2-0 against the Bucks was a lot shorter than when they were going to play a Game 7 in Golden State. Or no, I'm sorry. That Game 7 was in Houston.
Yeah, they were at home.
Game 7. But still, they were shorter. Oh, they thought it was a wrap, man.
There's some strange things going on in the NBA. The teams that want to win don't want to win. I know you've been talking about the number of players that are.
So our buddy Henry Hayes, who's co-hosting with us on Monday, and then Max is King Max does the Mardi Gras show on. I'll get it right, Chef. So the Mardi Gras show for Max, Mardi Gras Max, huh?
Mardi Gras Max.
Yes. And so,
not quite the king of sucrose, though.
No, but you're the crew of Brusley. I mean, the king of Brusley. So
he's huge over there.
But Henry was, and look, for Henry to just kind of concede, like, man, it's a problem. And Max even brought, like, NBA, I mean, the guys that it's in position, it's part of their journalistic position. It's to promote the league. So they're built off of their following is NBA fans for the most part. A guy like a Bill Simmons, like, oh no, we got a problem here. Maybe, we got some weak leadership here. Somebody got to. Oh really? This thing's been building and building and building. So, I mean, now whatever you want to try and arrange a roll-in lottery or whatever. Look, man, it all starts from the top, man. I'll tell you one thing is it possible for your stats? Your stats are based on the games that the team plays. Is any position that, or they still would get their salaries based on different numbers?
Well,
just not per game. Your scoring average is not, no, it's not 28 a game. No, you're playing 2/3 of the game. So, no, it's 21 a game when you want to negotiate incentives and things like that. But these guys don't have any type of incentives. It's all based.
What do those numbers mean? And I'll give you an example, and I know why this happened. It happened about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. The Brooklyn, you just don't know what any of these numbers mean at times. Cam Thomas, former LSU player, okay,
and volume shooter,
more than somewhat, okay, averaging 16 points a game, okay. What do you want? Hey, can you put the ball in the bucket? Brooklyn cut him, just flat out cut him because he's so bad defensively that the 16 points a game it's not worth it, okay.
Yeah.
They cut him straight away. A guy who can listen. He is maybe the worst defensive player I have ever seen in my. 41% from the floor.
No, that's not good.
It's not good.
No,
they thought it was
bad.
so bad. Okay, that a guy who can. Look, he can put the ball in the bucket. We remember him. He's so bad.
It's kind of like
Daddy
Yako being ruled down. At least we have it's a low bar, but at least we have something set, huh? I mean, a team, you cannot score 16 a game and play no defense and shoot 41% from the field.
And Milwaukee picked him up, and he is so bad that 16 points a game is a detriment. Okay? How bad do you have to be on one side of the floor to be able to score 16 points a game, and they're like, no, we don't want you here.
Like I said, Charlie,
we're going to cut you straight away.
That's 2.5 leagues. You play in college 2.5 years in a G League and try to make a comeback. That's about the same bar. It's low, but it's at least a start. With that being said, and I'm the fool here, maybe, but I'm going to be watching the new format. It's 12-minute games. It's a quarter. And so you have 3 teams. It's a round robin. 3 teams. USA A, USA, versus the world. USA B versus the world. USA against A and B against each other. Okay. Is there any chance that they're playing with a little bit more pride?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I may be the fool here. I know this. It can't hurt. Did we see what is the level, the same level of, say, regular season NHL and what we saw in the 6 countries?
4 nations.
4 nations. 6 countries. 4 nations. Max, at least Max is getting used to me. That was pretty damn good intensity. Okay? If it could come a third of that, it would be nothing. Bro, it can't get worse. So I at least applaud. Give me an attempt, Silver. Give me an attempt on this load management. Come with something, man. Man, if your stars don't play, you're fined. You're fined for every game you don't play. How about that? Whether legitimate injury or not. No, man, you got to go play.
And I'm not wild about all-star games, but they tried to bait Kevin Durant the other day, saying, "Listen, against the world, you guys are shooting from half court, okay." And he was like, "Hang on a second, the Europeans are just as bad." He got after Joker. He got after Luka.
Who started it?
Well, you tell me.
LeBron, KD, okay. that generation, they're just following him. They're just. I disagree with that.
And this isn't USA versus the world. If it was USA versus the world, I'd watch.
If the world beats them. The media is letting them know that you're gonna get some criticism. And Kevin Durant is a horrible guy to gauge on this. I mean, this guy is victimized. Bro, you can go. You don't have to be victimized in your NBA career. You can go do whatever you want as a career. You got enough money, you can start a business. I mean, you don't have to stick around. This guy has been a whiner, a complainer. I mean, the whole time. I mean, sensitive to the bogus social media account. I mean, this guy's off the charts as far as the one. But no, I applaud the NBA to kind of let them know. No, you're gonna get a little criticism if the world beats you. And I'm sorry, I'm fine with that, Charlie.
And they didn't even do a real game. This 3-way whatever they're doing.
It was so bad that dude, but Kachuk is playing, man. He's compromising his NHL season.
If I could
go out there and play for a team that wins it.
If I could do this and have a real game, okay, 48 minutes worth of real game, and I'll tell you, okay, you give me Victor, Joker, Giannis, SGA, and Luka.
The world.
You give me those 5 guys against any 5 people on the planet, and they're going to be favored. And I think if you took those 5 against 5 Americans, they'd probably be a 7 to 10 point favorite. And then you'd say, "Hey, can you be the underdogs and beat the world?"
It's a quarter,
but they're not right. They're not even doing a game.
Well,
that almost.
You want them to play 4 games?
I want them to play 1 game.
Well, they play in 48 minutes. That's the format. They're playing 48 minutes. Okay. Well, this is part of it. I mean, you're playing, and the 2 top teams play the last 12. I mean, come on, man. It's a reasonable attempt. You come up with a better format. You can't.
I just did. I just did.
Well, no. You're going to play four 48-minute games.
No, I want to play 1 game. I want to play 1 game, the USA against the world.
The problem is the first quarter is less valuable than in this format where each 12 minutes is worth more because it's all about winning. The smaller sample size actually makes each moment more meaningful.
It may evolve into that. It may. But I think it puts a little bit more, it's 12 minutes. It's built for the low attention span era that we're in now as well. I mean, I'm sorry. I think it can't be worse, okay? I'm going to watch it. I'll see. I could be a fool. It could be a 12-minute game that is 62-60, which is terrible.
They could come up with the best format in the world if the players don't give a flip. Then
they're trying to. KD's responded because they might catch some heat if they don't perform. I mean, is that not that response? Is that not telling? No, no, they're putting a little pressure on him. I mean, I saw it in hockey. I know it's, but I'm not looking for that to be parallel. I'm just looking to get a little bit of that international. If they can match it completely, if not more, is Tkachuk playing during a regular season game being hurt? Max, is Tkachuk playing a regular season game being hurt than without he was playing in the Four Nations?
Hockey guys play a little bit more, but yeah, the way he was hurt,
maybe, maybe not.
Not quite. That there was also some geopolitics. That was a rare instance of just how much that tournament really meant for everyone. But, yeah, those hockey players, they take international play extremely seriously, and some of them would almost rather win for their country than the Stanley Cup, and that's the difference, different mindset.
Yeah, I know this. It can't be worse. There's no way. That is complete garbage what they've been putting out.
At least they tried this year. I'll give them that, yeah.
Well, it was inspired by the Four Nations, right?
Sure.
Well, I mean, I think it's got as good of a shot. Tell me what else you're going to go with, and I just don't think it's going to happen. Don't forget our friends, our friends over at at downtown. It's Spanish Town, right?
It's
Spanish Town.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we're brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff. And just another time this week where my wife had, a little bit of back pain. It's just get a little bit crooked, getting the feeling a little bit better. Where Dr. Goff and his staff do such a great job getting you to feeling better. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. Whether you get into a little bit of an exercise and stretching, going to be able to get you to feeling a little bit better. If you need you get your dry needling, your electric nerve stimulation, cryo ultrasound therapy, they can help you out. All of the things that they do can make you to feeling a little bit better. Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. SEC basketball tomorrow. Jimmy, we talked a little bit about A&M and Vanderbilt. Is this thing can start to spiral a little bit on Vandy going to Nashville. They're playing pretty well. I know they had that tough loss against Oklahoma, but they've been playing pretty good. For A&M, we keep talking about.
Hasn't Vandy won 3 or 4 or 4 or 5?
4 out of 5.
Yeah,
4 out of 5, and then it was a 1-point loss.
Well, but they were down most of that game. They're a lot bigger than that.
Missouri.
No, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Excuse me.
Oklahoma. I think they even hit a 3 at the buzzer to kind of make it 1. I mean, it didn't come down to a last shot. Is my point. But they still have recovered, and we didn't know how good they were. And you remember when I watched the Memphis game really stood out to me. Like, man, Memphis is no good, and they should not be struggling like this. But now it was at Memphis. Granted, it's on the road in college basketball. That's tough, no matter who you play. But I just didn't see the team that I was expecting to. But they're as good as anybody in this league minus Florida. It's just such a separation for Florida and everybody else. And we thought, man, we didn't know how to take A&M, but they kept winning in their style of play. But that is, I think A&M will still get into the tournament, but their whole catching people off guard with their extreme style of play, I think that's done. I think that, and it's just Kentucky's not as good. Georgia's fighting for a bid. I mean, it's just
Well,
who's the next best? I mean, Vanderbilt could be. Tennessee should be.
Maybe Arkansas. They're tied for second. Kentucky is tied for second, and Florida is first. And Florida is an 11.5. I know they're at home, but they're an 11.5 point favorite tomorrow. So if the difference between first place and second place on a neutral floor is
6.5,
6 or 7 points, yeah, I mean that's
Florida,
a lot.
No, and that's what it is. There's Florida in a big gap, but Kentucky's not the second best team. I don't think they are as good as Arkansas. And I know they went to beat Arkansas, but I just don't. And I respect the job that Pope has done because they have improved in midseason because they're I don't know what the record says. I understand that, but I give Arkansas more of a chance. I give Tennessee more of a chance, and they beat Tennessee twice, Charlie. And I'm still maybe I'm just kind of reluctant on Kentucky, because I'm giving to teams that they've beaten and beaten away from home. But I don't know. Oweh is legit. He's good. But A-Cup's better, and A-Ment's better for Tennessee and Arkansas.
The other game that I'm interested in, because there's a lot of – this is not a great card. You got Oklahoma against Georgia, but Auburn is at Arkansas. They're a significant underdog. South Carolina's a big underdog.
Auburn needs a win.
They do. I think it's a hard ask for them.
I agree.
In Fayetteville. But Texas, who is in right now, but they're one of the last teams in. It's 38 net right now. They're going to Missouri.
It's a 1.5 point spread.
And Missouri has a better conference record, but they're way behind Texas as far as
NET.
The NET. They're 57 as opposed to 38. So if you're talking about
Missouri's metrics are horrible,
it would be a nice win for Texas to get a win there tomorrow on the road. That would help.
I think Missouri's going to win.
All right, they're only laying a 1.5. If you're on your way into campus, there is an accident on Nicholson between Gurrier and South Stadium. So we're a little over an hour away from first pitch in the opener. If you're on your way in, be aware that there is an accident going on right now between Gurrier and South Stadium. We do not have the lineups yet. Although Hunt Palmer has.
Want these college basketball picks?
Yeah. I was going to say Hunt Palmer will get that to you as soon as he has it.
Hunt will have some LSU baseball updates.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get these picks in. Chalkity chalk, Charlie. 6 chalks tomorrow. Iowa State minus 5.5 at home against Kansas. Court rush fade there. Vandy 6.5 at home against a kind of reeling A&M. Florida, talk about a clip. You tell you it's more than that big of a difference. Florida minus 10.5 at home against Kentucky. NC State was humiliated this week. They're a bounce back spot. NC State minus the 5.5. Tennessee minus 11.5 against the Tigers. And Villanova minus 3.5 on the road against one of the more disappointing teams in college basketball. Handwriting on the wall a little bit. Coach Mack may be calling it quits at Creighton. They're just not the same.
Wow.
This is the worst thing. He's been in this tournament 14 times.
Yeah.
11 at Creighton. 12 at Creighton and 3 at Northern Iowa.
They were a point away, 3 years ago from being in the Final Four?
Yeah, that foul against San Diego State in the Elite Eight.
That was so heartbreaking for them.
Well, it led for the whole game.
Yeah. What do you think? I don't have a line yet. South Carolina and LSU, the women's game at the PMAC.
I say pick.
Say pick. I think LSU might be a 2-point favorite. I'm going to say a little bit. It'll be close. It'll be very close. If we do the common opponent thing, how both of them have played in 2 games against Texas. All of those games have been pretty much close, and I think that's will be very, very close.
Texas fell a little bit short of the number last night in women's basketball, huh?
Vanderbilt's like a top 7 NET team.
What was Texas' favorite? Like 6.5 or something?
And that
got
was
beat by 20?
Yeah, and it's not like Vanderbilt's out of nowhere. You know, they were
they beat LSU. They beat
at home there.
Kentucky on the road last week.
Texas ran into a buzzsaw last night. Vandy really took care of them. All 4 of those teams will be 1 or 2 seeds. Vandy girls really took care.
Vandy boys.
Yep. All right.
Vandy boys playing at TCU, huh? Got Global Life, got Puerto Rico, we got Milwaukee in a traffic jam.
Mm-hmm.
Hunt. Come on, Hunt, figure it out.
Thanks to our friends here at Rufino's.
Go ahead, Creek Sucrose. You have a good time, man.
Yeah, y'all try not to break anything while I'm gone. I'm going to be out Monday and Tuesday for Mardi Gras.
Hanson Memorial, baby. Rocking that song going on Monday night.
For Max, for Jimmy, and for Taylor Sharp, who's filling in for Jordan.
Thank
back in the
Taylor.
studio, I'm Charles Hanagriff saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.